So, the analytics advantage. I'd start with a term that Harvard Business Review had recently talked about in one of their studies, which says businesses that integrate multiple sources of customer and marketing data significantly outperform other companies in terms of sales, profit, and margin. They also have dramatically higher total shareholder returns. So, the key takeaway that I want you all to have from today's session is that this industry continues to change. It gets more and more complex, but not complicated. And the clients that can better understand their users do have a competitive advantage that you want to make sure they look out for. If we look at this particular data source, you'd see that the complexity of today's customer journey drives many of the measurement challenges we face as a user and as a marketer today. As digital touchpoints and devices increase, cross device and cross media has almost become a basic requirement for everyone. There are continual fragmentations in the whole customer journey itself. Let's look at an example here on the screen that you see is of a consumer who's trying to buy a car. This person has a 900 different touch points over 3 months before leasing a car and exploring 14 brands before deciding between the final two. The takeaway here is that you need tools and resources that can measure all these interactions people have with brands online, giving you a very complete, relevant, and timely understanding of the customer journey. And I'll also add a little bit of the international angle now that I work as a consultant for international growth, supporting businesses to go cross borders. Is that these interactions also change by the country you move into? A lot of you'd notice this very particularly in the Nordics market. Users are more likely to purchase from brands that are new. So brand loyalty is slightly reduced there versus if you move on to the Asian markets, you'd notice that this customer journey is less fragmented because they already know the brand they want to buy from. The loyalty there is really high and they want to ensure that this is where they get the most of their information from. So this is where brings me to the next point, which is that to make your business very scalable, whether it's in your own domestic market or you want to go cross border, you need tools that can measure the interactions people have with your brand online and give you a very complete, relevant, and a timely understanding of this journey. And the industry changes make it very critical to control your data. Transparency, choice, privacy, so many regulatory and technical changes make it all the more confusing. And I'm on your side. It is very confusing. I've been in Google for 7 years, and believe me, every product that I've worked with has changed dramatically and dynamically, so much that I almost have to unlearn and relearn everything every time I'm talking to a new client. So, what I'm trying to say is that it's really critical for clients to comply with local regulations and also respect user choices. And with these parameters, it is a very important to make the most of the data that is available to you and in making the best decisions. Specifically, because this is an European audience today, GDPR is top of mind for everyone. ITP is top of mind for everyone, and that's changed the way we look at user data. How much data can we even access? So, the takeaway here is that you need to be enabled to adapt to this changing environment. Coming from Google, I can speak for Google Analytics that we are continuously embedding responsible and durable measurement techniques that will drive business outcomes for a long term while meeting the user expectations of privacy. So, the moment you talk about analytics, you have to keep in mind that privacy and analytics go hand in hand, and you want to ensure that experience you're providing to your users that way. And with this, we also know that leading marketers are investing in data. Data driven culture is the new thing that every organization wants to be a part of. Cross platform analytics users are 1.3 times more likely to agree that the data my organization uses for data analytics and insights is complete and accurate. And these insights to deliver better cross platform results and campaign results will remediate any issues in customer experience. So, at the end of the day, if you're looking out for an exceptional customer experience, service that brings those customers back, driving loyalty, you want to know that data is the answer to driving those journeys for high value customers. And data driven attribution is one way of doing it, where you would understand which touch points the user goes through and man marking what touch points are more important than the others, where I want to invest my time, energy, resources, and budget to ensure that we want to bring out our high value customers, make them loyal, and continue to support them in this journey. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this slide now, where I've written that we will have 5 takeaways from our Google commenced Forrester research on what analytics really drives and why it is important. The screen only has 4 points, and the fifth point is what I'm going to speak out from a non Forrester research. So let's talk about the first point. Marketers ranked improving their use of data and analytics as a top priority over the next 12 months. Our research suggests that 63% of marketers indicated that analytics was in their top 5 priorities, and the reason is very simple. Improved analytics drives business results. Connecting consumer and behavioral data across channel can inform these digital improvements that increase sales for any organization and business. And the decision makers say that their top reasons for putting budget towards analytical tools include sophisticated user management capabilities, advanced features, and customer support. So, analytics ties extremely well with advanced customer experience and in generating high value customers and leads. So, you at all times want to know what type of users you want to target, what type of content those users are consuming, and how do I make the best of that user attention, given the fact that on an average, a person would look at their phone, let's say 150 times a day. And I'm not even underrepresenting that figure. The figure might be much higher now. This is a 2018 figure. You would know that in that case, if a person is looking at their phone 150 times a day, they are going through social media, they are consuming video content, they are also using a search engine, they at the same time are also using their phone for phone calls, messaging people, and connecting with the world. And at all times, the touch points, the agenda, the time duration is so different that you want to understand what is driving that consumer journey, which is why analytics for marketers has become one of the top 5 choices. Because if you do not understand your user well, you're losing out on the journey that they're going through, and you're blindly targeting the audience, which may sometimes give you good results, but then there's no consistency, and you want that consistency. Moving on to the second point, which is that organizations lack a cross platform view of their data. This is also a very acceptable notion within the industry. Many organizations are using separate tools to analyze data from their websites versus mobile apps, and that makes it very difficult to get a complete picture of what the offerings are, how do they derive insights, and it requires a lot of time and effort. By investing in cross platform analytics tools, organizations can unify their data and the customer journey to get deeper insights, make smarter marketing decisions, improve customer experience, and ultimately see better business outcomes. So, you want to unify your data. And a couple years ago, Google bought this product called DBM, which is now called DV360. This product particularly focuses on having a marketplace. And this marketplace combines the suppliers that have ad space to give and the advertisers who want to advertise their products and um, products online. And the whole point of having DV360 as a marketplace platform versus you going to multiple sources and getting ad spaces from them is so that you could unify your data. That's our biggest selling point, that you want to see all your data in one place and make sense of that data at the end of the day. You're spending millions of dollars on your marketing, but if you can't understand where that dollar revenue is coming from, what your users are really looking out for, you cannot innovate in your business, which makes it very, very important and critical to ensure that you have a cross platform view of your data. The third point is that decision makers value privacy features above other analytical platform capabilities. I think I started my presentation talking about how important, critical, mandatory privacy has become as a requirement in this industry now. And solving for privacy is a must. The finding in the study of Forrester really suggests that decision makers take a privacy first review as they seek for protecting customer data and preserving their trust. The marketing executives have realized that they must prioritize investing in tools that build processes to protect their customers' interest and information and preserve that trust. And organizations take privacy a step ahead by looking into compliance, by seeking visibility into the privacy practices and cross platforms. And this ensures that the partners are not just processing data lawfully, but that the tools are also embedding higher privacy standards that the customers are now expecting. And privacy would also include security risk, your data collection mechanisms, and how you track cross platform partners' activity and making sure that you meet their privacy standards. So, again, analytics comes with the fact that it's important for our users, cross platform is equally necessary, and privacy is top of mind for all our consumers. And the fourth point that I want to call out is that organizations also at this point lack critical machine learning capabilities that can surface the most advanced insights. And there's a big gap between crucial role machine learning can play in creating high value experiences and the ability of marketing organizations to actually use that machine learning and automation effectively. More than half say that digital analytics solutions lack machine learning and automation capabilities, and exploring AI ML capabilities for faster, deeper insights into these complex consumer journeys has become really important because they want to act on these performance insights, and they want to also adapt that mindset where they are advanced, automated, they understand their users faster than you'd know, and they're using AI for digital analytics to create great content for themselves and create great products for their users. So that brings me to the 4 points of why analytics is important, and the future of analytics includes heavy privacy, it includes complex machine learning algorithms, it includes having a full view of your cross platform data, and it also includes having analytics as a priority within your organization. And the fifth point, which is going to simplify all of this together, is that don't be intimidated, and it's not rocket science. Analytics is simple. You have millions of tools available outside. You just need to know which one's the right fit for your organization, which gives you the data that you need. You need the right human resource to actually analyze that data and put it into action. So the ultimate insight is that it's not rocket science. As long as you can generate those insights and put it into action for your business, it gets better with practice, and you'd learn a lot on this journey as well. So I don't want to complicate it and make it sound like it's the most difficult thing on this planet and you need to invest huge amount of resources. It completely depends on your organization size, but all I can say is that it gets better and simple with time. And this is all about analytics and why we want to look at analytics as the future. The next part that I'm going to talk about is demystifying automation. And I have a question for the audience here. If you want to pop into your Q&A and tell me the first sentence or the word or a phrase that comes to your mind when you think of automation. And I'm going to look out for the answers in the Q&A chat. Efficiency, Robert. AI. Okay. So I see efficiency, I see AI, I see automation as limited human effort. Love that. Right. So, what is the basic Googled definition of automation? Make a computer perform work that was previously the responsibility of one or more humans. And this definition is very subjective. Uh, for example, Gmail is another Google product. We don't generally come under the banner of automation, even though it automates tasks that were once performed by humans before computers came along. But at tech firms, automation generally only applies to work that is typically performed by humans, even when computing resources are available to offload your work. So, automation is a surprisingly complex topic that consumers and many software engineers debate into the merits and risk of automation, what kind of tasks should be subjected to automation. And there's a spectrum of wide variety of views. And I've tried collecting two of those extreme views together. The first is that everything should be automated. Humans have no other purpose in life other than to implement automation and fix it when it breaks. or have someone to always fix it when it breaks. So everything should be automated and you only have a human fixing things. The second one is that everything should be under the direct supervision and management of humans. Automation has no other purpose other than to expose the knobs. Humans need to have full control of the system and inform humans about the state of that system statistically and proactively. So, while one side says everything should be automated, the other side says that all we need is continuous control and supervision, even if things are automated. So, brings us a little bit of a trade off of what is the right amount of automation to have. How do I demystify it for what it looks like for my firm and my organization? And with this, I'm actually going to move on and talk a little about what automation means in the world of businesses and ads. Many marketers have questioned us, and I get this question all the time from all my clients like, I don't want to give up control. Automation is complex. It meshes with my own roles. What if I become redundant in my own job one day? But when implemented strategically, automated products can deliver better results. You, as a business, make faster decisions. You unlock time for marketers to actually deliver more high value strategic thinking. And you can help align marketing and business outcomes, especially because it allows engagement with the increasing complexity and fragmentation we see in the consumer behavior. So, how we look at automation in our organization is that it's actually freeing up time to do more strategic projects, reduce your admin work, and let's see what we can do to make effective and efficient working cultures in our organizations. And from a campaign perspective, automation can unlock new growth opportunities by helping respond to consumer needs and optimizing your campaigns in real time. So, again, really, really important and critical to understand that automation is not taking away your control. It's actually giving you more control over your life, giving you more time to actually have a healthy living, and making sure that it's used in the right way. So, don't get me wrong, automation can be taken into two different ways, but you have to know what's the optimal amount of automation you need in your own personal life, in your organization, in your ad campaigns to have that right balance with yourself. And with this, if we talk about four things that I want to focus on why we should be doing automation. And this is from a expectation that each one of you on the call today is a marketer in some capacity, and you want to reach new audiences, get more out of your marketing budget, squeeze it till that drop, build very meaningful content and creatives, and improve your campaigns faster. And you, everybody who's listening to me today, have the opportunity to focus on this unique strategic value add rather than controlling the tactics and working in partnership with automated products to achieve better business outcomes. And with automation, marketers are able to shift their focus to the things that really matter: measuring the right actions, setting up the goals that you need, finding the right message, and understanding the audience. So, we are going to now deep dive into these four aspects and what type of automation can really support. I'm going to bring in a very Google specific angle here because that's what I do for a living. But I'm going to focus more on what it means in the language of a big tech firm when I say automation is required for, let's say, reaching new audiences. Now, for reaching new audiences, it is really important that you understand who your audience is. There is no average customer, and optimizing for averages or just your top audience means you're likely to miss out on other valuable customers. So there's never going to be dearth of customers. The population in the world is increasing too much to worry about it, that you wouldn't have customers, you would get saturated, your market would saturate. If your market saturates, international is the answer to it. But what I want to say here is that it is important to identify that if you're narrow targeting, you have a certain set of audience that you're looking out for. But do not misunderstand that for that this is the only audience I need to look out for. There are millions of audiences out there who are relevant for your business in some capacity or the other, and you are missing out on them because you are not using automation in the right capacity and way. Manual targeting is one of the most common things businesses of all sizes continue to prefer, as it helps them expand their reach and decrease ROI, but in a very controlled capacity. You as a marketer need control over your campaigns and your data, so you want to go ahead for manual targeting, and that is okay. It's nothing wrong with it. But what I'm trying to say is the moment you add to it a little bit element of automation, you help expand your reach while maintaining relevance and the return on investment. Automation helps you, and it factors in a lot of, I'd say, million real time signals about users' intent, preferences, context. And it is very tempting. I'm exactly on your side when I say this, that you want to manage all this complexity manually. Our brains are functioned to do that. You feel you're doing extra work and you're getting more empowered and you're upskilling yourself if you're doing all of that. But let's also be smart workers here. Uh, Budget optimization spreadsheet is something I created for one of my clients a couple of years ago. And I nested this if formula from a typical Microsoft Excel. So complex that I discovered the maximum character limit in Excel sheet is it's 32,000, by the way, 32,769. And that solution worked, but when I found that tool, it delivered the 90% of the same functionality and an easy to manage user interface, and it was an easy call to make a switch from Excel to another tool. So when it comes to search marketing, automation specifically for reaching out to new audiences helps you scale those messages, helps you customize the messages that you want to give out to that particular audience. And in this massive pool of audience that I'm talking about, you also want to derive personalized results, which is what a marketer or a user would look at. If I'm shopping and if the system doesn't even know what my preferences are, I would be more unlikely to just scroll down mindlessly for hours. But if I see something that is specifically targeted for me, or a product that I've seen in the past, or a product that I almost added to my cart but then I didn't buy, you know that you're getting those personalized results as an audience user. And that right combination takes our campaigns to the next level. So it's really important to ensure that you're reaching out to your audiences that way. And again, automation helps you cast a wider net to reach more potential customers, which is going to be your manually targeted audiences, who you've managed to do that with the time and skill that you have. You already have your converting customers, which you can try to drive some loyalty with. And then you have this whole pool of online customers that you're not targeting right now, but automation helps you increase that pool of audience that you want to go out for. And it builds the audiences that you know are valuable, and it works even faster when you feed in machine learning with first party data about which customers convert for your business. So within the remit of GDPR, whatever first party data you're allowed to collect, it is very valuable. It's probably one of the most valuable information you'd see out there for your users that you have. If the user is seeking their permission to have that data collected, you want to ensure that you're using that data in the right way as well. So very, very important that you're using automation skills to ensure that this is leading to new users, incremental consumer segments, that the ones you anticipated would never convert for your business, and that actually drives and derives an increase in demand, which you didn't realize that you have it for your products and services that you were looking out for. So again, really, really critical and important to ensure that you're using the right element of automation in the right capacity. And I'll talk a little more about it when we move on to the next topic of how do we make the most use and squeeze every drop of that budget that we have using automation so that we can use it effectively and efficiently. And with this, we will move on to the second topic, which is how to get most of your marketing budget. But I'm going to take a 10-second water break. If anybody has any questions in the meanwhile, please feel free to post it on the Q&A segment, and I would be happy to take them up as well. Right. Moving on to getting the most of your marketing budget. Now, this is where most marketers would say, how much budget is enough? How do I make the most of it? I'm not getting the ROI that I expected. I'm spending so much on my digital campaigns and I'm not getting what I really needed out of it. Most common queries happens all the time, no matter what business or vertical you're in. This is always your question: how do I get the most out of my marketing budget? And your bidding strategy, I'm very specifically talking for marketers out there who use any form of ads, either on social media or outside on out of office out of home technology or TV. In fact, your bidding strategy has a lot to ensure that you have a significant impact on the opportunity that's out there. Bringing it back to home, Google's smart bidding machine learning technology is evaluating billions of combination of signals to help you set more precise bids for every auction. For the audience here, when you search something on Google, millions of ads out there get into an auction, and then three or four ads get selected which result into our top page advertisements, and then they move on to the second page and the third page. I'm not saying bids is the only thing that results in those ads on the top. It is combined with something we call quality score. However, bids is exclusively important to have that ad rank. And you want to have those precise bids. You don't want to pay extra, but you also don't want to underplay yourself in this business. Some verticals and some industries are more competitive than the others, and seasonality has a very critical role to play there as well. So you want to ensure that you have the right price for the right customer at the right time to engage based on their likelihood to convert. And that's how you make the most of your marketing budget. um, Again, not every customer would deliver the same value. You'd notice some, if you're a retail business, let's say, I'll give you an example. You'll notice that some users of yours have a higher average customer basket size versus the others. So you know which ones are more important than the others. And that's always going to be the case. You want to segment your consumers. If all consumers do the exact same thing, you'd be left confused. So you want to have those qualified leads and purchases and segment them for high value and low value consumers. And this data is so valuable because it helps you optimize your bids and budgets if smart bidding is what you're using as a Google ML technology, and you get help in achieving your business objectives. So, what I'm trying to say is that ensure that while you're using smart bidding to make the most out of your budget, you're also segmenting your audience to understand who do you want to invest more in and who do you want to invest less in. People who've converted in the past, and if you think your business has a lifetime value which makes them increase and purchase more very often, you want to invest in those consumers to increase that brand loyalty. However, if you are a business of, let's say, selling cars, now somebody buys a car, they wouldn't buy another one for, let's say, 5 years. So you want to get the most out of the customer in one go, but then you want to invest in newer audiences more, and you want to pay more for getting newer audiences versus the same repeated customer. And with this, you also want to ensure that smart bidding knows which conversions are more worth than the others, and it can help you drive more value for your business. So, automation actually helps you do that. It gives you that information that you're missing out on at the moment, where you don't know which customer is more valuable than the other. And then it comes to cross channel bidding. I think I started today telling you that a user on an average looks at their phone 150 times. And I'm not even underestimating that figure. But you'd also notice that within the same remit of, let's say, they're only using Google products, they would use Maps, Gmail, they would use the Discover option, Display, YouTube, Search, and so many more options out there. You want to also want to ensure that a user who went on YouTube consumed some interesting content, came back on search to search for something very similar, went to Maps to actually go in store to purchase something, went to Discover to actually explore more options, and went to their Gmail to actually work. You want to reach out to that customer at every touch point. And that doesn't mean you run after their life, you almost invade into their privacy. You have to do it very cleverly. And automation again helps you do that. It helps you limit the frequency at which you want to reach out to those users, and then you get your highest value opportunities no matter what channel you're on. So extremely important that you make the most of your marketing budget in that way. And a single channel approach is definitely limiting your abilities and capabilities to maximize that performance. So even if one channel outperforms the other, you'll still hit a point of diminishing returns. So you want to ensure that you are effectively, cost efficiently targeting each and every part of the funnel, which is really, really important for your business. And with this holistic view across the performance channels, you want to find the next high value opportunity and make sure that the marginal cost optimization is done really well. So, if you're thinking about making the most of your marketing budget, you know that you want to look out for smart bidding, you want to segment your audiences, you want to look out for cross channel and cross device opportunity, and you want to be clever about where you're spending your money and how much you're spending. So, keep that seasonality factor always in mind to know when is the user most likely to purchase from you. And again, I'll add a little bit element of localization here, which is a critical part of my role currently, where you'd see that if you want to make the most of your budget in a new country or a new demographic, you want to localize everything for them. And by localize everything, I just don't mean translations. I mean, you want to also localize their customer journey. Do they prefer chat, phone, to do their customer service? You want to localize their logistics options. What logistic options are really trusted in that country? You also want to localize their payment methods. Very critical. Somebody is actually wanting to purchase from you, but if you do not have localized payment methods, then everything falls apart and you just get an abandoned customer for someone who is willing to buy from you. So I'd say all of this also comes down to making the most of your marketing budget in an effective automated way, where you want to localize the journey for your customer at every stage of that. And this brings me to the third very effective point that I want to talk about, which is creating meaningful creatives. Now, it's very true. Creatives is a very neglected area of a marketing strategy, considered and it's considered secondary to media buying and ad tech. However, our Forrester research suggests that shifting marketing budget from technology to creative resources can actually improve the return on investment by at least 18%. And to tap into this growth potential, marketers require both creative investment along with automation. And those automated solutions can shuffle up the creative assets to deliver highly relevant ads to potential customers and saving your precious time and energy to actually look out for more strategic projects. So, I'll give you an example of a European beauty retailer, Douglas. They recently demonstrated how creative and automation can work together in a very clever way to deliver effective customized ads. The company set up a campaign to reach website visitors who had provided their first party data and also included a wider audience of like minded people by harnessing one of our properties called Google Affinity Audiences. From there, Douglas used contextual signals to actually deliver ads to online pages that people were viewing, but featured ads only on pages that included specific keywords. So you're automating your creative solution by having one consistent frame and then changing the second frame of your creative depending on where you're showing the ad and who you're showing the ad to. The beauty of this particular campaign that Douglas ran was that the company delivered these ads with automated and customized creatives. People who were considered high potential were more likely to invest in premium products, were shown relevant ads for high end beauty products and brands versus people who were purchasing lesser products. The focus was on increasing their average order value. So they were getting ads more which were focused on discounts available. So, what I'm trying to say here is that it feels like one creative can run everywhere and impact all kind of audiences equally and similarly. Well, that's not the case. You want to add that element of automation in your creative strategy because building creatives is a task. It is very and extremely cumbersome, to be honest. But this added value of automation, which is where we see our future, can actually ensure that you're running similar creatives and not the same creatives and customizing that message for the audience that you're running it for. And that makes it really easy and simple for a user to get attracted to this. Oh, this makes sense. I am actually not into high value brands. I just want to get things on sale. And oh, I'm getting a product at sale. I'm going to buy this. Oh, I'm also going to buy this along with it. So you notice that the mindset continues to change and the consumer behavior continues to change depending on the type of ad the users are seeing. So, very, very critical to ensure that you're doing that the right way. And no secret that relevant creatives help drive more conversions. Our Forrester research backs it up for us. Static creative, one size fits all is not the best idea you want to go ahead with. So, building more creatives and using that element of automation makes it really easy and clever for you to go ahead and win that audience out there. So, very, very important to have that image, text, logo, video assets as creatively as possible automated. I'm currently testing a new automated solution with one of my clients. Who actually wants to convert their videos and translate their videos into other languages. What was the easier way out? You just automate the subtitles and you automate that subtitle context for the user that you are advertising to in a different country. And even those minute changes of automation can really lead to a long way. And these are some tips and tactics that I'm throwing out here just to ensure that you are looking out for them and you have them in the top of your mind if you are building and wanting to build more meaningful creatives. Automation, when creative matching happens, creates the matches the right audience with the right creatives, dynamically resizes them, orients the assets in a better way that they result online. A very classic example: you see a certain ad on your desktop, and then you see the same ad on your mobile. If it's not fit for size for mobile, the ad would look very pixelated and strange to the eyes. So even slight automations to make sure the device that you're targeting on is making it a size fitting orientation is extremely important, and another example of automation. And with this, I come back to the last point, which is improving your campaigns faster. Again, we are all here to save time and energy on the type of admin tasks we end up doing. Whether you're a marketing agency or you are a marketer yourself or you're looking out for one, you know you want your campaigns to improve faster. Everybody wants overnight results, and there is no surprise in that. I'm not going to promise this would answer everything that you need to make your campaigns improve faster, maybe overnight, but a lot of it would be very, very helpful. Optimizing your campaigns manually, again, can be very, very time consuming, and tasks require individual attention often pile up. So, we know that there is a multitude of tasks that we can and want to do. Now, improving your campaigns faster um, is extremely important. And I want to call out here that current automation tools that are out there, or the ones that we use at all times, they may not work in every instance. But savvy digital marketers do not dismiss a tool on a single failure. Other times, poor results are because marketers are not using that tool correctly. For instance, many bidding and budgeting tools don't respond well when marketers attempt to combine automated and manual adjustment. So if you're using something automated, sometimes it's just fair to give that system a chance. And while testing one tool earlier this year, we discovered that changing a campaign's daily budget paused all automated bidding for 7 days, and the system rebuilt a new baseline. So we needed to look out and rework those data processes for ourselves as well. So I'd say the best approach is to understand a tool's strength and weakness and align it with the relevant use cases and save it for your future opportunities. If you want to increase your campaign faster, you have to do hit and trial. Nothing's going to change overnight. Your business could be very unique to yourself, and you want to ensure that you're not just giving up on something because the first time was a failure. And the second thing that I wanted to call out is to improve your campaigns faster. Increasing that optimization score can really drive better performance. What I mean by optimization score is really looking out for those tactics within your campaign strategy that could increase and improve your performance. It could be an audience strategy, it could be a bidding strategy, it could be the type of keywords you're using. It could simply be changes made on your website that make it more efficient. So you want to ensure that you're applying those best practices that your system is asking you to do in a hit and trial fashion. So absolutely needs to be hit and trial. Um, and then you want to go out for that. So make sure you're completing that and you're maturing with control, transparency, and tangible business performance than ever before. Real-time foundation is the foundation of Real-time automation is the foundation of entire ecosystem of search and marketing that is available today. Automation transformed search from an analog concept to a dynamic digital medium, and you want to ensure that you're curating those cross device experiences and delivering any type of content that the user is looking for in the fastest possible way. So, this brings me to the end of the presentation, and I do believe we do not have much time for Q&A, but I'm available on LinkedIn. My name is Rochita Dua, so reach out to me if you have any questions. And big thank you to Aaron for the opportunity. And Tim, I absolutely loved your talk if you're still listening to me.